With me, our political editor Andrew Clennell. As we do after Parliament, we get through the details in Parliament, then you've got some other very interesting news to report this afternoon. Let's start with the interest rates though, because Governor Lowe, the RBA chief, has been really under the blowtorch today here in Canberra.
He has, and I guess it was the day then that Peter Dutton opened the batting and had a few questions, him, Angus Taylor and the others, on where does this cycle of interest rates and inflation stop? And Anthony Albanese had a crack back. He's saying when you were Assistant Treasurer in the Howard years, that's when interest rates were about the same as they are now. So don't say it's because of me.
I refer to the fact that over the last 30 years to 2022, the cash rate has been 1.3 percentage points higher under Labor than under the Coalition. Interest rates are always higher under Labor. And that under this Prime Minister there have been 8 rate rises in 8 consecutive meetings of the Reserve Bank of Australia Board. No wonder there is such pressure on the Reserve Bank Governor. When will the Prime Minister announce a plan to deal with the rising inflation problem in this country, which is fuelling higher interest rates? Why do Australian families always pay more under Labor?
I remember back in 2004 when the Howard government slogan at the was keeping interest rates low. I remember that well. But then, of course, they made the fatal mistake of appointing the member opposite as the Assistant Treasurer in 2006. Now, at that time, the cash...
Now, Andrew, we'll go through that in a bit more detail, the Governor Lowe appearance, and really show our viewers this afternoon the key takeouts from that. Also coming up on the program, the Defence Minister Richard Marles and the Deputy Prime Minister is my guest to talk about the Defence Strategic Review, which got a bit of a mention in question time as well.
Well, I wonder if he's worried now that he'll be accused of leaking classified information if he gives you the mail on the review. We hope not. Richard Marles, don't fear. Tell Kieran what's in the review, please. But Andrew Hastie here having a crack. He's having a go, really. Shadow Defence Minister saying why was some of the apparent details in the Australian. I think Ben Packham was the reporter last night when this is supposed to be a classified document, and Deputy PM denying leaking anything, saying it was speculation.
At 4:01 p.m, the Minister tweeted a photo of himself and the Prime Minister receiving the Defence Strategic Review. At 9:42 p.m. last night, reports emerged in the media outlining recommendations contained in the DSR. Can the Minister explain how highly classified information about Australia's national security ended up in the Australian within a matter of hours?
There is speculation around the Defence Strategic Review, and the only thing that you've read in the newspaper is that speculation.
The Deputy Prime Minister, he'll be up in the studio live with us a little bit later in the program. The Industry Minister, Andrew Ed Husic, has been really front and centre the last couple of weeks, largely about his, within his portfolio, what's called the National Reconstruction Fund and their efforts to try and get that through the Parliament. Yeah,
so Sussan Ley, the Deputy Liberal leader, targeted him in the debate on that bill, which at the moment the Coalition and Greens are set to block. The Senate doesn't sit for a couple of weeks. And she accused him of spending too much time instead of worrying about consulting on the bill hobnobbing in LA. Let's have a look at the alleged hobnobbing. These photos here of Ed Husic at a black tie event, and Fitzy and Whipper, he pointed out to me, with him there. Kieran, what about that? He was having a good time, at least, in Los Angeles. He actually mentioned it in question time.
The Shadow Minister apparently took umbrage that I wore black ties. I mean, I bust out the black tie twice a year and I'm a Kardashian. I mean, apparently also I was accused of being ambitious. Have you looked around? This is not exactly Australia's preeminent greenhouse for shrinking violets.